Yes. And so in Buddhism we have, the main purpose in Buddhism is basically study philosophy, psychology, and the practice, right? What we condense everything in what we call the Lam Rim, or the stage of path to enlightenment. Then on the side, of course, we have all kind of things, sometimes to do with rituals. We do all kind of pujas or prayers, but the meaning of it is actually to transform our mind, right? That's the main purpose of it. Whatever implement you use, you should understand the meaning of the implement. Yeah, for example, bell and the vajra is the method, the bell is the wisdom. So that understanding is very important, because otherwise it just becomes like, playing an MP3 player. It's the same thing, right? So you recite the prayer, you contemplate the meaning, and then transformation should happen, right? Same if we make offerings to the Buddha. It's not just merely the Buddha doesn't need offerings, right? But for us it's kind of, the Buddha represents an embodiment or a manifestation of love and kindness, compassion and wisdom. I like to acquire those qualities, right? So if you then think I like to acquire those qualities, then you make prayers and you do kind of certain kind of dedications in that direction. Yeah? So the meaning of prayer and dedication and these kind of practices we do is basically mind transformation, transforming the mind to come closer to become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So then these prayers and practices we do within the Buddhist context, then it's often done in groups, and there's a great benefit to do it in groups because the energy builds up, so to say, right? That means that if everybody's chanting, sometimes you chant alone and sometimes you just contemplate about the meaning, right? So, and to do it in a community, because the energy builds up, it's much easier than do by yourself, right? And there are many kind of indications that the masters of the lineage, they talk about, that if you do it in a community, you get much more benefits. For example, if you read scriptures, if you read the sutras, then do it in the whole community, although you might just read a few pages, but the amount of merit or positive potential you create is similar to reading the whole collection of scriptures, because it's being recited by the whole community. Yeah, and it's true, whenever we do things in a group, it builds a kind of energy, right? So, yeah, and I found a similar, another aspect of that is, we often talk about holy objects. That means that if you go to holy places like Bodh, for example, although it's very busy there, but if you sit on the side and you close your eyes and you try to think about, love and kindness, of compassion, something comes, right? It's very magical in that way. Yeah, that means a holy site carries a kind of potential, right? So that is also true in a community, that it carries a potential, and that's definitely moves the mind in a particular direction.